of dance, right?
Thank you. Raise your hand. How many of you have ever felt lost, stuck, confused? See, before I share my story and tell you there's hope, I want you to close your eyes. Now I want you to imagine having everything you ever desired. A home, everything, car, house, and in one night, you're forced to leave your home. You can hear gunfire, you can hear screaming, children screaming, people being burned in their homes. I want you to open your eyes. That is my story. When I was a little girl, and I'm a little bit emotional, my mom and dad were forced to leave our home. We were forced to leave our home to survive in the forest, where there's no water, where there's no food, where there's no shelter, and it's freezing cold. There's gunfire, explosions, people's stomachs exploding, hands, people with no legs. And my grandfather and my mother and my little baby sister were there. My father was in the army and he was also looking for the food. This is the story that I heard on repetition and through drinking coffee with family. This is a story that would repeat on cycles. Now, as a little girl, you guys, my grandfather is my hero. My grandfather risked his own life to save my life. Now, a little bit about my grandfather. He was an orphan and he married my grandmother, who was also an orphan. And together, they built this beautiful family. My grandfather, when it was cold, when it was freezing, when mothers couldn't carry their children, the children were screaming, if the soldiers see you, they take a gun and they shoot you. My grandfather said, I will carry her. My mom says, if they die, I die with them. So my grandfather put me on his back and carried me through forests, through tunnels. And because of my grandfather, Tayan Muhic, I'm alive here today and to share a story with you. Watching my parents struggle was very hard. I was the oldest daughter, and I got to see things that most children haven't seen. Now, watching my parents struggle, there's no water, there's no food, you have to boil your own food to take a shower. And watching my parents struggle, it was the memory that kept repeating on cycle for me. Now, my grandfather, we came here to America, my grandfather was my hero. Was the only person that believed in me and my dreams, who always was inspired, told me, Mirsada, you're gonna change the world, you're gonna make a difference. What I wanna share with you, in one night, you only have one life. In one night, everything can change. My grandfather found out he had cancer. He never told anybody. I went to work, I received a phone call. I heard my mom screaming and crying on the phone. She said, Mirsada, come home. Grandpa has died. So I'm going to work, and this is the message that I received. I couldn't even punch in. I punch out. I'm going to get on the train. I can't think straight. I can't focus straight. I'm crying. People are looking at me. What's wrong with this girl? I receive a second phone call. My mom says, Mirsada, don't go home, but go straight to the friendly garden. The whole family's there. I go there. But before going to work, you guys, 2 nights before going to work, I spent night praying to God, believing in God, hoping that God won't take his life. The day before I went to work, I went to massage his hands, to pray with him, to hug him. Grandma was crying on the side of the door. She said, Mirsada, he's going to die. He fell in the shower. So that was the last memory of my grandfather. He said, Mirsada, life is one. I want you to choose wisely. I want you to do the things that scare you and face your fears. But before he said those words, he told me, Mirsada, go get an ice cream from the fridge. I was like, so I go and I get the ice cream from the fridge, and I know he likes ice cream cone. He loves the chocolate. And he took the cone and we're eating, and a piece of chocolate falls down on the floor. He grabs down to pick it up and he smudges it And I can see he's sad and he's crying and he smiles, he says to me, Mersada, shh, Grandma doesn't see. I want to inspire and tell you that you can be anything you want. You can have anything you want. You just have to believe in yourself. And my grandfather told me that. Thank you guys. I'm Mersada Generation Thursday.